like they're posing. And I'm like, exit. Okay. So have them like this. If you're doing this, your stomach naturally. Oh God. It's glitter. But have them. Don't have them do this because you're stretching your body out. Have them stand like this, but have them pull their pants down because if you just do an unbutton and like a V, they may have a difference on their side you're not going to see because the pants will change the way. And I do this. I get down on one knee like I'm going to propose, and I snap a picture and I make sure, and then I have them turn the exact same way. I'm always like this way. That way it's consistent, so I don't have to sit there and flip the photos back and forth. And get them at this angle. Don't get them way too low. Not that you'd be laying on the floor. But if you get them from up here, you may miss a good part. Whatever part that is. So make sure you get the right angle. Are we live? Are we live?
I think so.
Are we live? Are we live?
Yes.
We're good?
Right, Nina.
Move on then?
Where'd she go?
Okay, Betty and Liz, will you please come up? We're going to
Working on the way out. I think, there you go. You guys go ahead. You might want to use
You don't have to sit if you want to.
Bring
Okay, if you can't hear, just raise your nose.
Yeah, I'm gonna warn you right now, if I cry, I can't try and talk at the same time, so I'm gonna say this. Okay.
Who are you, Betty?
Actually, I was the first one in Orlando to sign up for it. A long time ago, almost 5 years, it'll be 5 years in December 31st.
Can y'all hear her?
Haven't used that anymore. Probably, I have such a big mouth.
It'll be 5 years, December 31st, that I signed up. Deputy Young came down and gave a party for a friend of mine, and I signed up under a control. I've been through lots of highs and lots of lows with this company, and so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about obstacles. I don't know if some of those obstacles, but that's you. Most of you don't really know my story. I was born in a family of 6 children. I was the last one. And had a pretty blissful childhood. My dad was actually my pastor. And at 14, he molested me. I didn't know that my 4 sisters had also been molested until we were 36 years old. Or I was. And we started to talk about it. And that's when the healing started. Then I married a husband who was also abusive for 15 years. Sometimes these things crop up later times in your life, even if you get counseling and you've been through help. They will crop up over and over again, and you need your relationship with God to get through it. So, with that said, I've had a few other things happen in my life. I lost $5 million company because of something my husband did. He was actually working with a New York mob behind my back, and ended up being arrested. So I lost everything: my home, my car, my business, everything about it. I didn't lose my relationship with God. Networks came to me. I didn't want to come to that party. I didn't want to have anything more to do with network marketing. But I went because I didn't want to support my friends. After I lost, and I can tell you I lost inches because we can't say that anymore, but I did. 4.5 inches that night. I said, oh my goodness, this is a product that everybody's going to want. And I signed up. And I didn't do anything for 4 months. I had a bad accident. I had ruptured discs in my neck that are indenting my spinal cord still. And I couldn't work for like 3.5 years with that. But I did decide I was going to jump in and do the same thing. Sometimes, we can use our health as an excuse, we can use our past as an excuse. We can use anything as an excuse, but that's all it is. Because we have power that we don't know we have. So we claim it and use it. It took me 4 months to jump in. On April 27th, I really jumped in, put it on Facebook, and the next day I had my 5 top people. And it went from there. 4 months later, it was a diamond. And it took me another year to go double diamond. And that was tough. It was tough to maintain my volume because after time, I actually lost my entire ruby line and half of my emerald line. So it was like starting over, but I was determined not to lose that range that I didn't. Double diamond also, I never lost my range, but that's still where I am. After 5 years. Casey asked me one day, why do you think, what people do? Yeah. And I had to think about that, but my answer is this. God gave this to me. And there are still people that need help. And I know He's going to lead me to those people. So for about 1.5 years, I kind of fell apart. I did too much. And luckily, my leaders kept going and built teams under me. But I didn't do very much. And I realized when I turned around and looked behind me that nobody was following me. But guess what? They weren't cool. They want somebody there to walk with them, to be positive in their life. And I wasn't that person. God willing, He's worked a lot in me, and a lot of personal growth. And I now have a new team following me. It will happen for you, even if you have so quick. So quick. But you might put just that really need you.
I'm Liz. I'm the accidental enrollment, but basically, a little bit of my story. I actually saw this lovely lady sitting next to me, Katie, before and after on Facebook. Almost in March will be 3 years. Yeah, and I had. This is why everyone says to make your posts and things public, because it was actually, I think Casey had posted it, and I had no idea who this was before from Facebook, but it was Katie's picture, so it had somehow come up in my newsfeed. So I saw it, and I was like, and I had messaged Katie. I was one of those people. I had messaged her, asked her a million questions, you know, the people that you think they're going to sign up and they don't. And
just apologize.
And,
Okay, double time.
So I asked her a million questions, and then Reagan's mom, Lynn, who owned a tanning salon at the time, she was right down the street from me, and I was like, where is she selling those scraps at her salon? So I went down there, and she had just started selling them like the week of, maybe a week before. And so I signed up as a customer. Well, she told me that it was $99 to become a customer, and then you get half off. So I just thought that was the greatest deal ever, and I was like, oh yeah, sign me up. Where do I sign up? And so I did that, and then I got the skinny pack on top of it, which all made me like commission qualified. So for 3 weeks, I thought I was this customer waiting for my product, and Katie gives me a call, and she's like, oh, I don't think this ever happened before. Like, you're a distributor on my team. And I was like, what is a distributor? I didn't know like anything about multi-level network marketing, direct sales, nothing. And so I asked her 2 questions, and I said, well, are there any sales quotas? And she's like, no, you sell it, you don't. And I said, well, what if I don't like it? And she's like, well, then you just stop. So I had 3 other jobs at the time, but I was always that person that would like pick up extra jobs here and there to make extra money. And so I just ran with it. And I got to Ruby in the first couple months, and then the holidays and this time hit, and life happened, and I kind of like slowed down and didn't do anything with it. And then come like January around conference time, I saw like my team, and they were all at conference, and I was just like, oh my goodness, what is going on? I let my team down, and so I came back. I sat at Ruby for 2 years, so you can imagine how, I don't know if any of you guys are going through this or have been through this, but it was really discouraging to be at the same rate for 2 years. And I was just like, what is this? Like, why can't I keep going and promote? And it was just really discouraging. So I which is what I'm gonna go into after this, but I realized that I wasn't working my business with intention, which is one of the things I'm gonna talk about. But when I started to do that, my business changed. I kind of didn't have a direction of where I was going. I was talking about, yeah, diamond's nice, I want diamond, I want this, but I wasn't doing the steps to get there. It was kind of just like hoping that it would come to me. And so it was just really discouraging. And then come conference last year, when they said, when everyone tells you get to conference, it's gonna be so, you're gonna hear it 5 million times, but it really is powerful. When they announced the double good bonuses, it was like, I feel like God spoke to me and he was like, this is your time and you're worth this and you're gonna get this. And I was just like, I can do this, because I always said I was gonna do it, but I didn't really truly believe that I could get there. And that's kind of when everything changed for me, and I went for it. And I went diamond 2 months after. In March, I went diamond and got the $20,000 good bonus. And then 2 months later, I went double diamond and got the $15,000 bonus. So get to conference, but basically working with intention. I guess my best example would be like utilize your follow-up Fridays. Sit down and take an hour out of your day to follow up with people. Chart out, if you don't know how to chart, or if you have a team, if you don't know how to chart, you don't know how to, figure out how much volume your little customers have, little things like that. Have a direction of where you're going and write it down and break it down into small goals. And that's what I'm working on with my team, and what I do personally is like, if I have the goal to get, like, I want to eventually triple diamond is my next goal. And so you have to break that down into little goals. I can't jump to triple diamond. Like, you have to break it out into weekly goals and daily goals and work with intention and go out there. And I like what Betty said about, people out there need this opportunity in their life and they're just waiting for you to tell them. So you just never know. If you keep your mouth shut, you never know that cashier that at Wendy's or wherever you're at, that cashier may need this opportunity in their life, and you may change their life and they may change yours. So just get over that fear and work with intention, and make a goal list like every single day or every week of your smaller goals, and they'll eventually add to your bigger goals and you'll reach those. So.
Oh, sorry, I muted you.
It's like I'll turn it off because you won't stop talking. I'm trying to can't stop laughing because Reagan's mom, Lynn, is like the sweetest person in the world, and I keep thinking about her face. I remember when she said she accidentally enrolled you, and I was like, Lynn, you that's $99, and she's like, oops. And your mom says oops all the time like that, and I was like laughing so hard telling your story.
Good thing I've never seen the first grade. You would have been so
ever. Yeah, what did you do? Okay. Anyway, I'm here to talk about positivity. On Facebook. I have a few things to say about being positive on Facebook. And one of the things that I can say personally about it is it's not always easy to be positive on Facebook. And I have felt many times that I wanted to rant and scream and then just talk bad about people, which I don't really do anyways. But when you get that feeling and you're like, oh, I just really want to, and they're going to see it. No, that's bad. You don't want to do that. That is the opposite of what you want to do. And the reason being is because, and there's a couple of reasons why I feel like it's really important to be positive over Facebook. And I mean no dirty laundry on Facebook. And I feel that I'm personally very good at that because I've gone through a lot of stuff last year, and I will have really bad days, and Casey hears it. I'm like, Casey, she's the first person I call because I know it's better to vent to a friend or to talk to somebody who can give you good advice than to put it on Facebook. One being because most people on Facebook don't care, and they're not going to give you valuable advice, and it's something I've always learned is you have to be wise with who you seek counsel from. So Facebook is not a wise counsel. There's people who post, gosh knows what on there about red cups and stuff. So what are you saying, my guy? Hi, baby. But it's not that you don't want people to see your struggles, but you want people to see your story, and that's the important part. You want to be that beacon of light for people, to see that it's not always easy, but you can always get through things. So even when you're having a hard time, make yourself post something positive. And the beautiful thing about that is that it always has like a reverse reaction. So you post something positive and then you feel a little bit more positive. And then the way Facebook works is so funny. You post something positive and you'll see more positive stuff on Facebook. So if you're like dwelling in the negative and you're like, I hate my life and my food today, my dinner was awful and whatever, you're gonna see more negative stuff on Facebook. It's just the way it works. I don't know why, but it's like those creepy ads you see when you're like searching for a vacation, all of a sudden Facebook is like, come to the island of Bahamas. And you're like, how do you know my life? And it's so scary. I'm like, I'm really gonna make it spied on. But anyways, that's the point, is that it works like that. So you're negative and you're putting negative stuff and you're going to see more negative stuff and that's just going to bring you down and nobody needs that.
Not just that, but Facebook loves company. You ever see someone post something and you're looking at it and you're like, you're kind of like, yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
look at the comments, all of them are like,
Negative.
yeah, this is
And you don't. You don't want to be that person. Yeah, no, and it's bad. And like, and another thing is, as an AdWords distributor, you really are a public figure, and I think people forget that. So your life is kind of on the spotlight here. It's not like you can't be real. There's ways to be real and be positive. Like for me, I know something makes me feel like I'm so good at this, so I like finally am like, I am good at this. That when I have something to say about my life that's not great, I always follow it up with something positive. So I'm like, oh, it's been a really rough day, but the sun is shining and Jesus loves me. So like, there's always something positive to follow with, and being, that person, that representative of this company and everything. People are going to stalk you and follow your journey, and like they want to see your story, and like I just think that's so important for you to show them a positive story, because if you're negative and you're complaining and whatever, people they don't want to confide in a person like that. They don't want negative advice. They don't want to follow a person who is just so negative all the time. It'll bring them down too. And they want to go after somebody who's like exciting, positive, and driven, and just on the ball with things. And I just am rambling at this point. But anyways, I had another topic that I feel like was in this realm of, but being positive is super important on Facebook. And I can't remember. Was that my name? I don't know.
That was mine.
Look at everyone who's here. You obviously got the memo. So I was gonna say something else, and I lost it. So, but oh yeah, I was gonna say this. This is really good. I like driving on the highway. I'm listening to 98.3, and there's this really great song, and it's like if I were to tell you my story, okay, you feel me? Yeah. And it's like, it would be of love, and it'd be of this, and it'd be of God's blessings. And that's the point, y'all. You'll want to tell your story and have it reflect the good things in life, not the bad things. And so, and I've had a whole bunch of other great things, and I don't prepare well, obviously, because I didn't read papers, so, which I thought I did, but I don't. So there you go. I had a horrible day. But according to Facebook, I had a wonderful day.
Yeah, but no one would know.
And I'm here. I'm actually in a much better mood now that I've got around everyone. This is the point, I feel like sometimes I come to meetings and I'm like, I might not learn anything new, but everyone around me is going to make me feel very personal, even though I'm too personal. So.
Me too.
It's because that light is right above you, like an angel of light shining down. You see that?
All right, I'm really nervous. So you're like, and I have no idea what I'm going to say. I messaged Casey the other day about life and how I have felt really defeated lately, and I feel like it's across my life. I lost my grandfather in December. He lost his wife, and I lost my grandmother in March. And we just lost somebody very close to us this past month. So it's been hit after hit after hit, and I feel like every time I go to stand back up, I just get knocked back down. I haven't been investing in my business like I should. I'm there, but I'm not there. I try to be as much of a leader as I can, but I'm really struggling. My team has been awesome. They're still killing it. So I give kudos to them. The ones that are here, I just adore them for, sticking it out even when I'm not my best, but I told Casey, let's be honest, everybody wants to quit at some point. It's true. It's very hard to stay focused when life is knocking you down. But one thing I realized with It Works is this is so important to me. I love being around everybody. I love going to events. Like Katie said, when you're around these kind of people, it really does take you back up. It Works is so one team, one mission is a little bit insane. Like, you're not going to go to a job and everybody's going to tell you all the good things. You know, we're not competitive. The quote that you hear a lot of people say is, we don't compete, we compete, and that's true. My team's always there to pick me up if I, do tell them what's going on, which I'm very honest in telling them how it goes. But y'all, Betty said it, don't quit. I have been in this for almost 3 years, and I stayed at Diamond since my first month. I'm kind of just chugging along.
Wait.
Oh, God.
That's not right.
She went Diamond, and you demoted to what?
Executive.
And then what happened after that?
I went to conference and got back to that. I was without Diamond for 1 month.
So, talk about determination. When you start feeling like things are slipping away, you can either slip away with it and you can stop, or you can stand strong and push past it and rebuild. And I know those of you that are new, that might be like, what does that mean? You'll figure it out, hopefully not, but that's a big deal.
Yeah, it is very nice when you rebuild. I've had to rebuild twice. It's okay. I know my time is my time, my story is my story. I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm an It Works lifer, as they say. So yes, rebuilding, not quitting. You will find your girls. My husband's leg is kicking, you know what, right now. He's fixing to go Diamond. And I'm still here. I'm chugging. And I reach out to my upline. He asks me all the time. One time they're just going to tell me to go away. But they're very supportive, and like I said, this is like the light to like the darkness. It's where I have this little cloud following me lately. But then I come here and, well, you see. Yeah. Yes, and I'm very positive. No one would really know what's going on in my life unless I completely let you win. So like I'll follow Katie in saying, it's very important to stay positive on Facebook as well.
The point, I'm gonna kind of summarize a little bit here. We all have things happen to us, and if you are just starting, this company is amazing. This opportunity is amazing. What you can do with this, I signed up for $50 a month, so that I can get a pedicure without having to ask, my husband. And it has turned into, I never have to work a job again. And we have so much freedom, so much financial freedom. I do have a husband who's very passionate about his jobs, and I've tried to convince him to rewire, but let's be honest, him and I at home that much together, not a good idea. Okay, so, but you have to remember why you started, and we hear that a lot, oh, don't give up, just don't give up, but don't stand still. Because if you're standing still, then you've pretty much given up. You just haven't actually announced it. Okay? And life is going to happen and things are going to knock you down. This is such a positive outlet. Yes, we get no's. Yes, we get no's. Let me say that again. We get people that make fun of us. Maybe you haven't. You're very lucky. But people that turn us down or smirk or laugh, some of those people, they're going to come around on your team. You wait for that moment. That's just let it happen. Don't, make fun of them back. But, we have these things happen to us, and we can either let it stop us, or we can make us stronger. So if you're going through something in your personal life, the worst thing you can do is put this on the back burner. Because I'm telling you now from personal experience, maybe you don't know because my social media is always positive, except for one selfie video I posted on my team page. I just regret it. I can't, that's there forever. I need to delete it. We all have those moments where we just feel like, gosh, this is kind of tough, but it's such an amazing opportunity. So you would be foolish to let this go. And the longer you step back from it because of life, it's a downward spiral. Your team is going to stop looking up to you. They're going to see that you've been quiet. Believe it or not, like they follow their leader. Not all of them, we all know that. But they follow their leader. You have no idea the influence you have on your team. Unless you hear it daily, thank you. You know, someone said, thank you so much. Oh man, I should remember this person's name. I think it was Melissa's mom. You know, thank you in advance for all the work you're doing to put this together tonight. Because until you host your own meeting this size, or even smaller, until you're hosting your own meetings, like you realize like how much work goes into it, how much planning, how much time and effort. Like you just want. I was hoping there'd be people standing all over this room because I really thought there'd be that many people coming. You know, shame on them for saying yes and not being here, but hopefully you're watching. But you know, we all go through stuff, and the longer you back away from it, and the more you just want to put your phone down and not deal with anything, because it's not just with the business, it's life. This business is going to go along with that. It's going to, I don't want to say it's going to fail, but you'll start to see the effect that it has. And it's a downward spiral. And the longer you step back, the worse it's going to get. And if you could, okay, I was back at the thanks. You have no idea how much your team looks up to you and needs you. They may not say it all the time, but they need you. Even if it's one person, that person needs you. If you sign up someone, you know, that person should be under your wing. They need you. So you just kind of have to remember that. When life's happening, you kind of feel like this isn't that big of a deal. It is, and it's such a positive outlet. So focus on this. We're doing good in the world. Okay? Everyone that had a bad day today, that almost thought about not coming, that's the dang devil not wanting this to happen. You know? They don't, you know, I had a really bad migraine. I was still going to come even if I was feeling like I was going to throw up. I would still be here. But there are people that little things happen, and what they do, they didn't show up. They could have still been here, but they didn't. What is so funny about my migraine? No. Just kidding, I won't mean that. Thank you for doing that. All right, so you know, I'll ramble just like Katie and go on forever. So we're gonna welcome up Sandra to the stage.
All right, guys. My name is Sandra, and I'm Diamond. And I've been doing this a little bit of my background for 2.5 years now. And it took me a little while to get to Diamond. I just went Diamond in March. And my topic is about time management and working a JOB while doing the business. And then my personal favorite, self-development. So I'll start with working the business with a JOB because when I first started 2.5 years ago, I'm an esthetician by trade, and so that's what I was doing. Plus, I was doing mobile spray tanning, and I was also a brand new mom. So that in itself is a full-time job right there. So the way I was managing everything, I was basically just incorporating everything into my my business was incorporated into what I was doing. I made sure that every client that came in to see me, I was talking about the business and the products. And then whenever I went to do any mobile spray painting, I never left their home without giving them a list card and also talking about the product and the business opportunity. So I made sure that I incorporated it into my life. And if I ran errands, then I incorporated that into it. So it's not, I didn't, balancing, I didn't do much of that. And from John Eric, we learned basically all about incorporating, because if we're trying to balance, I don't think it's really going to work. You really have to, you're running errands, you can wear your shirt, wear your lanyard. It's so much easier to kind of talk about it and not try to balance it out. If that makes sense. So incorporating it is my big thing. He always talks about inviting people into your adventure, and that's what I did for a long time. Then I went on maternity leave, and so I wasn't working a job while I was doing the business, and that's when I decided that I didn't want to have to go back. So I was so determined. So I was determined, and I went to conference. So yeah, you guys can probably hear this. So I went to conference in January, and they announced a double, and I was sitting next to Jennifer, and we looked at each other and we said, "Well, we're going to do this." And granted, she had just started, I was better, but we were in tears like this. So I didn't sleep. So as far as time management goes, and prioritizing, I just basically figured out what I needed to do. I needed to stop watching some shows that I liked watching. I had to invest that hour into something that was going to grow my business. When the baby came, it was a little bit like, it was actually easier. It might sound like it was harder, but she was eating every 2 hours. So I wasn't sleeping, I was just working while I was feeding her. So that's when like my biggest boom happened. So, but all this happened from planting seeds right now. When it seems like it's slow, it's not. So all those seeds I planted during my maternity leave, which was born in February, March, like it all just started sprouting. So as far as time management tips, I do use this calendar, which I brought up. So I put everything, and I learned this from Jay Cooper. So if you're not following her, she's awesome to follow. So I put everything in this calendar. It doesn't have to be something fancy. This is from Walmart. Just go grab anything and put everything in there. Make sure that you get your list done. And then along with this self-development, I try to do this every single day. Actually, I do this every single day. You can follow people on Periscope, look up YouTube channels of leaders you want to be like, and just improve 1% every day will make a huge difference. And always try to compete with yourself. Whoever I was the day before, I compete with myself to be a little bit better the next day. So self-development is huge. A lot of my success has been from self-development, and I think that's huge. Reading, and I just wanted to leave you guys with David Schwartz. He wrote The Magic of Thinking Big, which I love. He says the size of your success is limited by the size of your thinking. So if you are not thinking big, then your mind can't grow any more than what it's thinking. So that's huge. Make sure you kind of grow that, make your brain stronger as a muscle, and don't quit like everybody's been saying that. So
Off of what she said, how many of you start the laundry? I mean, men, come on, you can do it, right? All right, okay. I was like, women are looking at me. Okay, so when you start the laundry, and then you're like, you know what, I forgot to go grab a basket of laundry out of my kids' room. So you go across the house, and you go to grab that, and on your way back, you're like, oh my God, the dishes, they're so bad, and you start doing that. Do any of you go from, like, you never fully finish one thing, like, you're all over the house, like, I've only got a couple of hours, like, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, and I gotta do that, and you're all over the place, and you never fully finish one thing until hours later. So, with the business, you know, she's talking about, kind of bringing it into your life. You're not, you don't always have to set aside time for it. You can, as you're living life, you have the shirt on, you have the Blitz card, you're doing your thing, and you're talking to people in between. But what I would recommend, and Brianna brought this up once, Brianna Smith, and I'm sure I've heard it since then, is a power hour. Those of you that have JOBs, don't feel that you have to be that leader who is on the phone 24/7. I mean, there are some people that answer questions faster than I could. I've learned to just put my phone down. Nothing's an emergency. You can come back to it unless they're calling your phone over and over again. Do not feel like you have to be the first person that answers that question. You can live your life, and things will happen. The more I ignore messages, I don't mean to say ignore, I kind of look at that. But I get lost. And I'll come back an hour later after living my life and say, did you get this taken care of? And 9 times out of 10, yes. So was I really needed in that moment? I was just one of the many people maybe that they messaged, or maybe they went ahead and did the research and figured it out on their own. But you just incorporate it into your lifestyle, and if you have a JOB, just spend an hour a day. Or have, Mark Pentecost always says, him and Cindy did an hour a week in the beginning. Set aside time, and that's when you are going to sit your butt down, and you're going to spend time on your phone, on your computer, on your iPad, whatever the device is. And then the rest of the day, you need to be belly to belly. You need to be handing out that Blitz card. Incorporate it into your life. Try not to get too overwhelmed, and this is coming from a very overwhelmed woman. So I need to practice what I preach, because I need to turn my phone down so that I don't even see it lighting up. Otherwise, I get that itch, like at dinner when my husband went. I don't want to be that person, where he's talking to a wall. So incorporate it into your everyday life, and then have some time set aside. There are many people that have JOBs, and their mission was to, quit and do this full time. So maybe they put a little bit more time into it. You need to know that you can be successful no matter what. Saying I don't have time is like saying I don't have money. You do. You just choose what you're going to spend that money on and what you're going to spend that time on. So set aside some time for this if it's a priority for you. Who was going next? It was Kelly. Okay, so Stephanie, Lynn, and Jennifer, please come up to the stage. Oh. Okay. Can you come in? Thank you.
All right, so I'm here to talk to you guys a little bit about organizing your business. I kind of outlined it for myself. There are about 5 different things, aspects aside from keeping a calendar like that mentioned previously. The first thing is wait, who are you? Oh, I'm Stephanie. I'm Stephanie.
There we go.
I will be back.
Whoa. I have her permission, I can go forward. First one, forms and resources. If you don't have room where you're at, maybe you don't have room for an office, home office, so you don't have a filing cabinet. I have a filing cabinet temporarily. I actually don't, so I'm with my in-laws right now. So I kind of moved everything portable. So when you first start off, or if you don't have room for filing cabinet, I definitely recommend expandable folders like this. You open it up. It has different little tabs that you can number and whatnot. And then the larger ones, I'll show you the difference of what I personally use them for. Same concept except it folds a lot more. The first one is forms and resources. So your loyal customer forms, your distributor forms. I have forms that I found on Team Pages that kind of outline your loyal customers with their ID number, their password, their address, their phone number. My filing cabinet, though, however, is similar to Brianna Smith. If anyone has heard you're so great to Google Hangout, I think it was, of how she organizes it. Mine is organized very similar, all into file folders by date, the date that their loyal customer runs. And then inside each date, 1 through 6, I have in one fold, one hanging folder. Then I have the individual folder with their name on the outside, and inside I have a loyal customer follow-up sheet that has what they've ordered, their address, their phone number, and everything like that, so that I can easily look at it, open it up, see what they've ordered, see what we've had a conversation about, and things like that, and have their address right on hand, so I don't have to go into the system and look it up. I can fill out thank you cards, and hey, how are you cards, and hey, here's a new product card. And I try to do that about every 6 months at least. Then you have distributor forms and info sheets. I have little flyers on how to wrap, when people buy wraps from you at events, and they don't have time to wrap, and it has my information and the steps on how to wrap, take a picture, drink water, all that fun stuff. Copies of raffle slips and party sign-in sheets. And you can fit it all in one of these if you don't have a filing cabinet. The second one are taxes, and I actually keep my taxes, receipts, and everything in one of these. Just because I keep it separate, and then I file it in my filing cabinet. I'm a little weird. but you can do it however you want. But it works really well because then it's like double secured, I think. I don't know. I'm crazy. But so I break it down into different things for taxes, and that's a whole nother like training in itself. But some of the things I just wanted to go over really quickly that you should be saving for your taxes, and I know we're coming up on that this year. Gas receipts, toll receipts or statements, hotels and food expenses, postage, travel like airplanes and car rentals, office supplies, mileage logs. Keep track of that. There is an app that will actually log every time you like drive, and it logs the mileage for you. And you can turn it on and off. So if it's not an it works related event, you can turn it off and turn it on next time you use it. I did that tonight. Anything that's miscellaneous. Auto shipment and any orders, you need to keep all of those receipts. Vendor event receipts, it works store purchases. Other forms of advertising, if you choose to do so. Trainings, one team, one mission. Conference tickets and all any event tickets that you go to, your phone bills, because if you're on your phone, you can use that as a tax write-off. You can use part of your house as a tax write-off because you're using it for your business, your internet bill, electricity, anything like that. And I have like a separate file for those bills. So that's something that you should be keeping track of. The third one is you could keep another one of these for your distributors. And I personally have little folders for my personally enrolled distributors. And inside I keep their enrollment forms and their login information because sometimes, let's face it, they don't start off as strong and they're forgetful. So you need their information to help them out. Their address, their phone number, their goals, and I like to try and update those maybe quarterly because our goals change. And most importantly, their why. So when they start to fall off, I can say, hey, remember why you joined? Are you still interested in making this work for this reason? So I use it to kind of dangle the carrot in front of their nose, if you will. Like, hey, remember this is why you're here. And their chart. I do their chart a little bit different. I put it inside like a page protector, and I write on it with a wet erase marker for my personally enrolled. So whatever chart they're working on, like Ruby or Emerald, I'll put in there and I'll change it by color. So if it's Ruby, I'm a little anal and I'll write in red for the boxes that have fulfilled their requirement. And if they haven't gotten to 400, I write in black and then I change it. I don't know what to get. So you don't have to be that detailed, but you know, it works for me. I'm a little, no, I'm not green at all. I don't know anything about anything. I'm organized. Red. I like things. Alright, so I'm like purple. I'm red and blue, honestly. Alright, so I keep that on for my distributors and make sure to keep their chart and up to date. It also helps you chart yourself essentially, because if you know how many rubies you need to be diamond, you are keeping their ruby charts for them. You find for, you know, free rubies essentially, and there you go. The fourth thing, loyal customers, I kind of mentioned that earlier. Another thing that I keep on their customer info sheet are their personal goals, like why did they become a loyal customer? Is it because I just recently had someone join for her son who suffers from a lot of stress and anxiety, and his medication, they only give him 8 pills a month, so she wanted the Confianza, and that's why she joined. Then you have the most reason, you know, the RAS to lose weight, get healthy, things like that. Their ID number and password if I know it. Phone number, date of birth, and address. I send birthday cards, and again, it's stuff that I have easily accessible. And then the last thing I'm just going to touch on, it also kind of rolls into taxes, is keep an inventory of your products. Because at the end of the year, you need to know how much you have left on hand and how much product is there at the end. And so it's easy to just go through, and I have it all like lined up, and I can count, okay, 3 bottles of Confianza, that's $75. And just go through that way, and how many wraps I have and stuff like that. And also a log of how many wraps you sell, so you know how much cash you're bringing in. It took me a while to do that because I didn't really pay attention to that.
And then my husband is a finance. So he's like, well, how much money are you making? I'm like, I don't know. I just buy it and I sell it. And I was like, well, I sold 4 wraps. I have $100. He's like, yeah, but how much profit is that? I'm like, I mean, it depends on how I bought the wrap. And it might have been a wrap award. So that's my tip, is just make sure you're keeping track of that, keeping inventory and all that fun stuff. Yeah.
Hi guys. Alright, I'm Jennifer and I'm a diamond leader. It works as well. And Casey brought me here, well, invited me to this chat so I can give you guys some kind of like tough love. So, yeah, I'm gonna hear it. Alright, first, I'm gonna play a little video. You guys can't see it, but I want you guys to hear it. But before I do that, I wanna ask you guys a little exercise. Who in this room wants to make this, you know, your dream? You want to get to ambassador, you want to get to the top, you want to retire, you want, you know, time for your family. Who in this room, raise a hand? Woo! Everybody, I want everybody to stand up. Stand up. Everybody? Are you guys serious? Everybody? You guys all want to be ambassadors? Say, I am ambassador. All right, you guys have a seat now. Hey, I thought it was going to be like 5, 10 people, but I guess I'm going to talk to the whole room. Listen to this. Huh? It's all right, you're going to be there. We're going to be there. We will be there. So listen to this, guys, and then I'll go over what I got to imply, what I, you know, my speech. It works. So,
It works.
it works.
It was a young man who, you know, he wanted to make a lot of money, and so he went to this guru, right? He told the guru, I want to be on the same level you are. And so the guru said, if you want to be on the same level I'm on, I'll meet you tomorrow at the beach.
Pictured extremely attractive, running without a job.
Video, but I want you guys to hear the words what he has to say.
Yeah.
So the young man got there at 4 a.m. He already running the road down the suit, shit on shorts. The old man grabbed his hand and said, I bet you want to be successful. He said, we're back. He said, walk on out the water. So he walks out to the water, watch this. When he walks out to the water, he goes waist deep. Everybody gets that crazy.
This whole time the guy is like working his tail off. You know, he wants to be successful.
Hey, I want to make money. You got to die sweat. I didn't ask to be a lifeguard. I want to make money. You got me in. So he said, come on, little brother. Walked out, little brother. And he had right around this area. This Stockton area. So it's all man crazy. You make money, but it's crazy. He said, come on, little brother. Get on, little brother. Right in his mouth. I said, I'm about to go back in here. Now it's mine. So, oh man, I thought you said you wanted to be successful. He said, I do. He said, walk on the front. He came, dropped his head, held me down, hold me down. My man didn't stretch it, hold me down. He had me held down just before my man was about to pass out. He raised him up. He said, I got a question for you. He told the guy, he said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. I probably ever had with it that. If you ever had asthma attack before, you short breath, that's your thing. Shortness of breath. You breathe it. The only thing you're trying to do is get some air. You don't care about the basketball game. You don't care about the TV. You don't care about nobody calling. You don't care about the party. The only thing you care about when you're trying to breathe is to get some fresh air. That's it. And when you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful, as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. I'm here to tell you, number one, that most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it bad and you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. You most of you don't want success as much as you want sleep. Some people want sleep more than you want success. And I'm here to tell you that if you're going to be successful, you gotta be willing to deal with sleep. You gotta be willing to work on 3 hours and 2 hours. If you really want to be successful, someday you have to stay 3 days in a row. Because if you go to sleep, you might miss the opportunity to be successful. That's how bad you gotta work. You gotta go dance out. Listen to me. You gotta want to be successful so bad that you can get to eat. Beyonce said once she was on the stage doing her thing, 3 days had gone by, she forgot she didn't eat. But she was in there. I never forget when 50 Cent was doing the movie, I did a little research on 50. 50 said that he wasn't doing the movie, he was doing the soundtrack. And they said, when did you sleep, man? Sleep. He said, sleep. Sleep ain't for those people who are broke. I'll sleep. So I got an opportunity to take it out. Don't try to quit. You already in pain. You already hurt. Get where you are from. Don't go to sleep until you succeed. Listen to me. I'm here to tell you that you can come here, you can jump up, you can do this, you can be excited when you get more money. But listen to me, you will never be successful without having to die. You won't be successful until you say, I need that money. Because I'm not going to do it.
Whoa. Everybody's all right? Everybody's alive? Can I hear clap, 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 clap for the video? So one of my VPs on my downline found that video and sent it to me, and then I shared it with our team. And I thought it was perfect when Casey asked me to. My topic is working with urgency, and if you want to be successful, you have to do what you have to do to be successful. You're not gonna wake up. I'm not even going by my outline. I did outline. Oh well. If you want to be successful, you have to do the steps to get there. And one of the girls mentioned up here, I think it was Liz, you have to do small goals, to make it to bigger goals. You guys want to be diamond, you want to be double diamond. Like our goal, me and Sandra, we're like on the same goal. So that's why we always relate to each other. Our goal is to be triple by February. So we know that we're not going to wake up triple tomorrow. So we work with urgency. Yes, we are full-time, it works. So we have more time to spend to the business. But for you guys that have a job, you don't have to just do this, take out time just to do this. Like Casey mentioned before this, incorporate your daily lifestyle and add the works to it, but do your power hours. I would suggest to, 1 hour in the morning before you go to work, wake up early, go to sleep late, an hour late. You guys have to invest time into this so this business can work for you. It can work for you even if you have a full-time job. And those that don't have another job, this is just a work, there should be no reason why you are not working your business. Or maybe if you aren't signing loyal customers, I'm gonna give you an example. That means you're not talking to enough people. Talk to more people. If you're talking to 20 people a day, talk to 40 people a day. It's just, you have to do it. If you don't go out there and do it, nobody's gonna do it for you. You're not gonna promote. There's days that, we'll be up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning sending messages, but guess what? That is all gonna pay off when February, March, comes. So work with urgency now. Be without sleep. Even if you miss a meal, I'm sorry. I mean, as long as your kids are taken care of and the house is taken care of, do it now, because that is gonna benefit you in the long run. When you are ambassador and you have all the freedom and all the sleep in the world, and you have a a maid and a nanny, it's gonna look back and you're gonna be like, oh my God, those nights that I didn't sleep, those nights that, I stood up late, messaging people, posting, talking to people, it's gonna be worth it. So work your business with urgency now, for in the future, you're gonna be like, whoa, I did it. So that's where I'm at, and that's what I did. And that's what I'm continuing to do. It's not like I just did it for, that's what I did it. No, I'm doing it every single day. I work this business every day. You have to be consistent every single day. Ashley and Brianna are going to talk about IG, right?
You guys excited? Woo! Yeah! Guys, I could rock that. Wait a minute, hold on.
I'm trying to make it not so bright on you guys.
Love out here. Okay, so I have my.
I kind of don't know what I'm doing, guys, sorry.
Like blue.
Is that good?
That's green. That's good.
No, it just changes.
Okay, so how many years? How many years Okay, great. There you go. They're gonna give me my mom can go all. Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
We can just say that.
What?
Yeah, put up your face.
You have to be like talking to.
There's another clip-on mic up there. I don't know what happened to it. Katie, what'd you do with it?
I put it up there on the table with the
It
Bible.
wasn't working for me either. Keep rolling.
Okay, so anyways, everybody can hear right? We're good?
Yeah.
Cool. I might have pressed the button or something. My own check the little thing.
No, I muted it. Here, now try.
I don't do this.
Oh, there we go. I heard it. Okay, so, what? Okay, so I'm on the screen. Okay, so how many of you guys are on Instagram? Wow, that's kind of impressive, honestly. So, are you guys having success with Instagram right now? Is it going well? No? Well, shoot, that was like me 2 weeks ago. Cool. Okay, so for Instagram, it's so different, I found, than Facebook. Like I really had a hard time, and I know John Eric always talks about if you are not good at something, you just hate it. And that's how I was with Instagram. I'm like, no, it's just not my thing. And I've had so much success on Facebook. So I'm like, well, why do I need to change what I'm doing? So just kind of started dipping into Instagram. You have to be really consistent, and that's what I've had a hard time with because I do have a job, and posting at work is not something I can do. So I've had to really spend a lot of time doing scheduling posts and putting my phone on airplane mode. Do you guys know how to do that? So for those of you who don't, you just put your phone on airplane mode. You go on like you're going to make a post and then publish, and just sit there and do posts. And then when you take your phone off airplane mode, everything sits at the top. And it will actually have like a little arrow that you can click, and then it just posts immediately. So that throughout the day, like if you're at a stoplight, you don't have time to do a post, all you have to do is click the little, it looks like a little refresh arrow. Yeah, so you just post that, and then all of a sudden you have a post that just went live on Instagram. Hootsuite now works with Instagram, for those of you who don't know, but it does not automatically put it on there. It almost like archives your post with your wording and your picture, and then once you actually click on it, it copies it into a pasteboard from like old time Word, and then you can actually put it on Instagram there. So that has helped a lot with trying to just be consistent because it's such a huge part. It's not like Facebook where somebody can just normally go to, you don't, you guys on Instagram, you don't go like, look at your friend's Instagram, and it's just whatever's in the newsfeed, and you guys gotta get in that newsfeed. What's nice though is that there's not algorithms like Facebook, so your stuff's not getting blocked.
Yeah. So just be smart about what you're posting and make sure that what you have on there is inspirational, it's positive, and post about the 5 Fs, which is faces like selfies. And then you can do things like food, fashion, or other. Yeah, you can do funny ones. I've heard all kinds of different things. Friendships, fun and freedom, people have put in there too. And you just wanted to have a big mix. Food always gets a ton of likes for some reason. And just put things on there that are interesting. Don't have everything before and afters. I beg you to stay away from graphics. It's awful. Don't use tags like join my team, it works, rap. There'll be searches for those. When it comes to public versus private, if you're private, don't use a ton of hashtags. It's just a complete waste of time because nobody can, if they're searching those hashtags, your profile doesn't pull up anyway since you have it private. I just moved mine to public and I've noticed that I'm getting a lot more activity. And I've noticed a lot of the top leaders who were very strict on being private and blocking everybody have moved to public as now as well too. So that's just a personal preference on that one. One of the things that I just recently found out about Instagram is on the bottom. I have an iPhone, so I don't know what you guys have or how it works, but there's like a little magnifying glass. So if you click on that, at the top it says search, and this is just like Facebook, you can just search things. So you can find people, hashtags, but if you click search, it says top, people, tags, and places. You can actually click on places, and then you can search around your near current location or anything that you type in there. So for us, I live in Leesburg, so I can type in Leesburg, Florida. And once I do that, it shows everybody who's posted and tagged anything in Leesburg, Florida. So let's say they went to like a McDonald's by my house. So then I can actually go and find people who are local to me. So I think sometimes people view Instagram as like trying to find people in New Zealand, you know? So just remember there's people in your backyard. So don't worry so much about people in New Zealand. That would be really hard to train anyways in different time zones. But worry about the people you can really connect with that are local and that they could actually see you in person and come to your trainings and that you could actually help. I just had a girl who signed up and I always have my phone number on there, you know, text me to grab the last spot. And she texted me, she joined for the 90-day triple threat challenge. She got her products, she did the wraps too. She had great results, and then she made a comment about selling her products. So she signed up, and I think within 2 weeks, she got her 4 loyal customers and 3 distributors. So it was like, I was like, where have you been? You know? But it's like, she gets it. And she was on Instagram, and that's how I found her, is through this location search, which is something that I know a lot of people don't actually know about, that you can search location by that. And then you can also, when you post something, tag a location. And then that way when people are also searching the location or that they've been there, your post shows up there. So if you guys search like Winter Park Planet Smoothie, you'll see like 3 pictures of Bree at Planet Smoothie because I'm always trying to think. And when we're driving in the car, my lovely fiance back here will drive. So I have my keyboard out and what I'm thinking. So we go to Winter Park and we go to do our therapy. And when we're there, I'm like searching Winter Park. And I'm like, oh, look at the people who are around in Winter Park. And just going and following and being thoughtful on their profiles, liking their things, leaving comments. Try and find people that you have things in common with. So for those of you who didn't see, a couple weeks ago, I took Emma to go see Taylor Swift for her birthday. And then, of course, that night, while we were at the hotel, I'm searching the Taylor Swift hashtags, right? So like 1989 World Tampa, and I followed all these people who love Taylor Swift like we do. And then I was leaving comments like, oh, what a great concert, you know, and connecting with those people because we had something in common. And that's something I learned from Jocelyn Yates because she talks about, you know, just like with how often you get around your teams and they become friends, you want to be able to relate to those people and have things in common and not be total strangers and be comfortable with each other. So you want to start to look for things like that. You know, I know a lot of times when I first started, I was like, gosh, it would be so great to have some Spanish speaking people on my team. And I'm like, well, I don't speak Spanish, so what if they only spoke Spanish? You know, so there's things that sometimes you don't think about you could run into. So I just try and look for people who are like me that I'm going to be able to connect with and help with on their level, and you're building a lot of friendships on that too. Yeah. I know you want to talk about Proudfire.
You're still talking, Ashley. You're not getting out of it.
Okay, so I use 2 apps. I use them InstaTrack and Proudfire. Everybody hear me?
Barely.
So I go to InstaTrack and you can see everyone who's blocked you, followers you've lost, and non-followers. So first thing I do, I go to lost followers, and there's like a lot of people in there. Go down there and unfollow those people.
What does that mean? They just don't heart your photos anymore?
Like, they just don't think I'm interesting, so.
They've unfollowed you.
Yeah.
They unfollow.
Yeah, so if you think of it in Facebook terms, they're not friends with you anymore.
Oh.
Except that's not a mutual thing, so you can be following someone that's not following you back. So these apps help to get those numbers and that ratio even, so that you guys are kind of like friends on the same page.
Right, so that's the first thing I look at, lost followers, because obviously they're not interested in things. So. And then I go to non-followers, there's also a lot of people in there, and go all the way to the bottom of that because it's in like a time finger. So the newest people that you followed are up at the top, and you go all the way to the bottom. These people should have had like a week maybe to follow you back, and they chose not to. So I unfollow all of those people. And then Crowdfire mostly I use for copying followers.
Copying them, what does that mean? I know, that sounds like it'd be nice if you had a screen to show you.
So you can do the same thing with this app. You can go to copy followers and type a person or page in here.
What's the name of that?
Crowdfire.
Crowdfire.
Instant Track. It has like a little rainbow and little happy people. Like silhouettes, or what do you call it, the paper dolls. Is that what they're called? Rainbow happy people. I don't know. They have like little bodies.
Okay, so I'll put something I think is interesting in here, like Ipsy. I love my Ipsy bags. So I'll go to their page. Wish you guys could see my phone. And just go down here and follow. It's like 101 people you can follow every single hour.
I didn't know how to do that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you search on the copy followers.
and it'll show the most engaged followers of whatever you're searching. And you can just push that button 101 times every hour.
I think you can do the other two things you're talking about on Crowdfire, because this is the only one that I use. But with the things that she's talking about, so on Crowdfire it's called recent unfollowers, or with recent followers, or those that you're following.
You can do that too, but you cannot do them at the same time in the same session.
Yeah.
So you have to choose. Do you either want to copy the followers, or do you want to unfollow people who are not following you? So you have to kind of do it.
Oh, okay, so that's why you use both of them, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I usually use the InstaTrack for unfollowing. I just think it's better organized for that. And we also don't have a copy followers option.
I unfollow about once a week, just because, you know, if I go to follow Ashley, and if she's pretty going consistent on Instagram, there was times where I wasn't on Instagram for a week at a time. Like, I just didn't check it. I was on Facebook all the time. So you don't want to go unfollow someone that's maybe not on Instagram as much as you are right now, because they're not building a business yet. And you want to still give them an opportunity to follow you back too. So just, that's what she's talking about, going all the way to the bottom and making sure that you're giving them ample time to actually be able to look at your profile, follow you back, and kind of just check you out a little bit on that too. And then one of the other things is that on your actual profile, just keep in mind that you can delete things. So I know there's a whole ton of different tips on how much you should post. Of course, the 3-3 rule is awesome, but I've also heard a lot more than that, where people are posting basically every other pictures before and after. You want? Oh, okay. So when you're actually on your profile, just keep in mind that if somebody's going to check out your profile, they're probably not going to go through like, 10 scrolls of looking at your pictures. They're really going to go through and just look if you really like this first 6 to 9 photos. So make sure your most recent 6 to 9 photos are awesome, so that they're not like belly shots the whole way down, because people aren't going to want to follow that. And another thing is to keep your profile picture in your bio, which is all this little information here, completely nothing to do with their words. Don't say anything about wraps. The only thing I have on here is 2 little diamonds, and that's it. It doesn't say anything else. And mine actually says, animal lover, engaged in planning our wedding, let's go on an adventure, and I have my phone number. So it's not anything like join my team or I'm a wrap girl, because there are people who've built Instagram completely wrong, and people are really turned off from the wraps on Instagram. So you don't want it to go on here and be like, okay, she's a referral, I'm not gonna wanna be a follower of her. So I just kind of slip it in. But remember, if you're gonna post a lot of before and after pictures a day, you can go back and delete them. So what I'll do is an average post on Instagram is on there for about 6 hours. So within the next 2 to 3 days after that, you can just go through, write down the people that liked your picture so you can follow up with them. And by their little username on there, I have a spreadsheet. And what you can do is just delete that before and after that you did, because nobody's really seeing it anymore. And then once they go look at your profile, there's not a ton of before and after pictures on there. So I know that's something that Jocelyn's done as well too. And she's posting like a ton of before and after pictures a day. And that's how she kind of keeps it. So when you go on her profile, you're not seeing 20 before and afters a day. She's just basically filtering and deleting them all out as well. I think that's about everything. And then Emerald is going to be up here.
You too, Tina. Woo! Yeah!
She's gonna need 5
Volunteer.
volunteers to make it. Not right now, when I'm done. I'm Amaryllis, Double Diamond. I just want to ask, who here is a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad, stay-at-home girlfriend, stay-at-home boyfriend? Can you please stand really quick? Awesome. Now I want you to take that label off your forehead. I gotta stand. I'm like a preacher. I'm in church. So, and I've got 5 minutes. So I've got to get 4 days, 4 days of information in 5 minutes. So I want you to take that label off and say, I'm a work-at-home mom. I'm a work-at-home girlfriend. I'm a work-at-home dad. Because sometimes you feel guilty that you're working and you're not giving enough time to the children, or dinner's not being done, and you've got to just keep in mind that you are a work-at-home mom and work-at-home dad. Does that make sense? Okay. So I was part of the leadership retreat in last week for Stephanie Dunn. It was amazing. So I've got a lot of tips from John Eric, Stephanie Joel, Carla Burns, Pam Souter, that I want to share. And one of the things that they did, one of the things that they did was John Eric asked us to create a profile. So if you guys have a piece of paper, I would like you guys to write this down. I would like you to create a profile of your next rock star. So the next person that you're going to sign up, you're going to create a profile. And what he wanted us to be very specific when we created the profile. So I'm going to share with you what my profile was, just so I can give you an example. I want my next rock star to be a female. Nothing against eyes. But that's just my profile of my next rock star. I want her to be a single mom. I want her to be around the age of 24 and 30. She's getting to that age where she wants more of life. She wants more for her kids than she can give them right now. So as I'm speaking, you can start creating your profile. You don't have to do my profile. And I wanted her to be a working full-time mom. So then the next thing that John Eric asked us was, okay, where is this rock star right now? So it was 10 o'clock in the morning when we did this exercise. So I've got a single mom. She's works full-time, so she's working right now. So then he goes ahead and says, so why are you posting on Facebook right now? So that was a huge aha moment for me. because we tend to want to be, and we hear so many, we're watching Periscope, we're watching YouTube, we're hearing so many of the top leaders saying, post, set alarms on the hour, every hour, post, post. But if your rock star is not there watching it, why are you posting? So the next thing that he said is, when is your rock star? So it made you think. So I know you're probably not writing, but I want you to be able to grasp this, because when you go home, I really want you to think about this. So my rock star is probably on around 6 o'clock in the morning. Just before she gets up and gets the kids ready to school. And she's probably on again, maybe around noontime for lunch and her alone time. But then she's again between the hours of 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. The kids are down, dinner's ready, done, dishes are done, and it's her alone time. So that's where I need to post for my rock star. So that's the tip that I got from John Eric. I want to share a little bit of Pam Souder. Pam Souder did say, we're work-at-home moms. We're not stay-at-home moms. So, you can cut the whole guilt thing that we've got going on. But she also said the vision that we have, that ItWorks has for our distributors, for freedom, fun, and friendship, is not for us to be working 12 to 18 hours a day, is not for us to be sitting behind a computer or with, getting that tech neck with our cell phones 12 to 18 hours a day. It's to be able to enjoy freedom, to be able to enjoy our family, and to be able to have fun. John Eric said there's no such thing as balancing your life, so stop trying to balance your life. It actually takes an unbalanced force to create a momentum. And I think there's a big momentum going on in ItWorks right now. So I hope I've got 5 minutes. I hope that this was good. I'm gonna do a Periscope tonight at 10:40. My Periscope is RAP, the letter U, Skinny Team, and I'm gonna share all the tips that I got from the leadership retreat. And now I'm just gonna let Tina.
Hi guys, I'm Tina Scarborough, and I'm from Melbourne, Florida. I'm a double diamond. I just want to ask, how many of you in here are distributors or executives? Okay, so a lot of you. Okay, awesome. So how many of you want to know exactly how to get to Ruby? Alright, I'm going to show you exactly how. I'm going to show you exactly how many people you have to talk to, exactly how many people that you're going to have to get out there and actually speak with. Okay, so I need one person that wants to be a Ruby really bad. Okay, so this is Kimmy. And we're going to see if Kimmy really wants to be a Ruby in a second. Okay, so Kimmy is ready to go Ruby, but she doesn't know what to do, right? Okay, awesome. So Kimmy has to talk to 10 people to get one distributor. Did you guys hear me? 10 people. The average consultant has to talk to 10 people before they get one person. If you're really good, you can get 2 in 10, but you got to be really good. Okay. So she gets Iris. Okay, come up, Iris. Now Kimmy now has Iris. Kimmy, come up here for me. I'm doing this visual for you guys because this is easy to see. It's right here in front of you. Now she signs up Iris. She's going to talk with Iris, set up her auto shipment. How many of you do that right away? Yay. Because some of you are going, oh, well, you can just get 150 and you don't have to run your auto shipment. Please don't do that. You cut your own throat. So she signs up her, she sets her on her auto shipment, and she sets her up 2 debut parties. One online and one in person. Because sometimes she's gonna waffle. Because she's gonna be like, oh, well, my friends, they don't want to come, and so can we just do that virtual party? Sure we can. Get all those friends that were gonna be at your house on the party. Okay? So she gets 5 to 7 loyal customers. She's now a qualified lady. Thanks, Iris. Okay, so then she talks to 10 more people, and she gets Mike. Come on, Mike. What's the first thing she's gonna do with Mike? Thank you. What? Now she's also gonna set up 2 parties for Mike. Except Mike's a party animal, so he has a party. Okay. He also does a virtual party, and he gets 15 loyal customers. Dang, you're awesome. Okay, so Mike is now a qualified leg and then some. So Kim better be talking a lot to Mike. Okay, because this is probably her executive right here. Okay, you guys following me? Okay, so 10 more people she's talked to. She's now talked to 30 people to get 3 people, you guys. 30 people. All of you out there talk to 2 people, well, I can't do this business. I'm sorry, but that doesn't work. Okay, so she's talked to 10 more people, she gets Stephanie. Come on, Stephanie. Okay, same thing. Sets her up on her auto shipment, sets up 2 parties, except Stephanie waffles on the party. Okay? Because you guys know that they're out there. There's even some that kit man. And if you don't know what that is, that's somebody that buys a kit and you never see or hear from them again. Okay? But she set up it's true. If you haven't had one yet, you ain't talking to enough people. So Stephanie does a virtual party because she's scared to invite people to her house. Okay? So she has a virtual party. She gets 5 loyal customers. They're pretty good customers. So she is now a qualified leg. She has 3 qualified legs. But Mike says, hey, Kim, I want to do this. Like, what do I got to do? So what does Mike got to do? He's got to talk to 10 people, y'all. 10 people to get 1. And he gets Eric, because they work together. Right, Eric? Oh, they used to. All right, so he gets Eric. So you guys are going to have to move up for me because this is visual for you. Make sure you come right behind her. And you get behind Mike. Yeah. Okay, so Mike sets him up on his auto shipment. They hold 2 parties. And since Mike's a party animal, he can visit Eric to be one too. Are you following this, you guys? You have to be urgent about this. This is important. When you guys are out talking to people, if you're not telling them like, hey, why don't you sign up right now? You're missing out. Don't tell them, well, we can meet and we'll talk about it. No, there's nothing to talk about. You need to order your kit today and we'll train you tomorrow. Okay? And some of you guys are losing distributors because you're so worried about meeting up. It's great to meet up and connect with your distributors, but you don't need to train them before you sign them up. Some of you are like, girl, you can get a red reward and and then they're like, oh, I don't want anything to do with that. Don't train them before you sign them up. Okay, so he's got Eric. And then all of a sudden, he gets Sandra. Come on up, Sandra. Now, we all know Sandra's a big-time rock star, so Mike's got it made. All right, so if you guys are looking at this, this is a Ruby. We have 1 person here, 3 on her first line, 2 qualified legs. Even if Mike just runs an auto shipment, okay, if Mike wasn't a rock star and signed up these 2 people, did exactly what I said about signing them up on their auto shipment, did their 2 debut parties, they got qualified legs, she's now a Ruby. And what do rubies make, you guys? $500. Yeah, but what's the next one? Emerald. So now Kim has got to make Mike a Ruby. And if these 2 are asleep at the wheel, she needs to find another one. It's really that simple, you guys. You guys make it way too hard. Just talk to people. That's all you need to do. And if you're not talking to 10 people, that's why you ain't signed up nobody yet. So does anybody have a question on how to get to Ruby? Because this is right here.
So just basically, I have 2 distributors right now, like you said, 2 to sign up, and 1 just hasn't done anything. And I talked to her, and she's just really.
I got like 80 of those.
Okay, so. Yeah,
Buy new people.
right. Exactly. It's one of those things, you guys, that some people are not gonna do it, and it's okay. It's okay if they don't. But you guys don't have to hold on to them like a sinking ship. Most of you will ride the boat down with them. You're like, no, don't go. Don't do that. Guys, just let them go and find new people. They'll come back around. This week I had a girl, she was a kidnapper for real. Fought her and her mom. For real. They both fought their kids and died. And they just told me last week, I think I want to start some stuff for the holidays. Great girl, I'll help you. That's what you need to do. You help them when they need it, but don't sink the ship with them.
So you're out, you're getting your own customers, so you play.
Oh God, no. No. I don't do that. Do you do that, Casey?
I didn't hear it. Sorry.
She said, if you have someone that waffles, then you place underneath them. Right.
I get my $100 bonus.
Yeah. Yeah. Just real quick. Casey said that they would have questions later, but go ahead. I'll answer your question and then I have to be done.
What happens if you had a distributor and you have them with loyal customers and then they die off?
Then you get those loyal customers and you take care of them. Yeah, you still get paid on them. There's nothing that will keep you from those customers. Right. Okay. Thank you guys so much for helping me out.
A big round of applause, because if you haven't figured it out yet, this double diamond and that double diamond that just spoke Amarillo, not even on our team. So everyone in this room is under the same person, and we all technically are one nation, you know? But they're complete sidelines, and they came here today to teach us, so thank you. And now I'm gonna bring to the stage the girl that drove 8 hours just for us from Alabama. Oh, you don't like it.
What's up, everybody? 8-hour drive. I need some energy here.
Push the power button on the box.
Can you hear me? I mean, I can be loud.
It should like hold it down.
Yeah? No?
Hold it down on the box.
There you go. Got some amazing notes. But first.
Should we squeeze in?
I have a selfie stick.
I don't have a selfie stick. I'm gonna make it work. It's okay. 1, 2, 3. Good enough. All right. On a podium, because I don't want to have to sit and hold my notes. You all see me shaking like a leaf. Yes, I get nervous. All right. So I got a lot to cover, and I'm so excited what everybody already covered because a lot of it is that's not part of the show. All right. I want to ask you guys a question. What keeps us from blitzing, from working our business, from talking to people, from posting? Fear. Fear! Yes, thank you. Fear. Fear keeps us from doing all these things. But I want to know, what are we so afraid of? That's just something that we all do. Immediately, it's just our instinct. We think of the fears. So we need to stop looking at the fear side of things. One topic I wanted to talk about, a great saying, a quote, I love it. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at will change. Pretty sure that is Wayne Dyer. I'm going to give you guys a scenario about blitzing. So, how many of you blitz? Be honest. How many of you blitz?
Not as much as I should.
All right, yeah, not as much as you should. I think we all can say that, right? Okay. So here's a scenario of blitzing. I have the opportunity to give my coupon to the cashier at checkout, okay? Person's checking me out at the Publix. How simple is that? Pretty simple. But what happens?
Fear gets in the way. As soon as we're standing in that line, 500 scenarios go through our head of what could happen, right? Let's see. How many of them are actually positive? Nothing. We're thinking of 500 things that could go wrong. They're going to think we're calling them fat. They're going to run from us. They're going to change lanes. They're going to close their lanes. All these things go through our head. They pull out a gun and say, get out of my store. Right. How many of those things are actually going to happen? Right? Yeah, nothing. So the transaction is done. I walked away with my Blitz card intact because of fear. I talked myself out of something that didn't even happen. Simple scenario. What's the outcome of that? Nothing. Nothing changed, right? Okay. So let's change our mindset here. You think of positive outcomes. You do hand them a coupon. What are some things that can happen? They want more info. They want to wrap money. They want to do a party. They want to join you. They want to order. You add them on Facebook. Or they take your card and they don't. You don't hear from them. What has a better outcome? Handing them the card. Change your mindset. I mean, seriously, what's going to happen? What's the worst that could happen? They say no, thank you. And that has happened before. And that's happened when my girls in my last meeting. Well, she said, well, bless your heart, and took it out of the trash can, told her she'd pray for her, and walked away. You know? So, which, by the way, I don't have a bachelorette party to run off to tonight. Yay. It's like 5 of you are here from my last training, or just wasn't that funny. Right? Change your mindset, guys. I was at a event a few weeks ago, and it was like a hair show. I did it last year, and they invited me back. They had this a lot of training for all these hairstylists and estheticians and everything that were there. Before the actual hair show, they had like training, and they had this amazing speaker up there. And I sat down and listened to her, and she was fantastic. And she talked about non-successful people and successful people and their mindset. So I'm jotting down notes as best I can. So this is what I got out of what she had to say. Non-successful people, they avoid failure. They just want to look smart. So they never step outside of their comfort zone, because if they do that, they might appear not smart. So they stay stagnant. They don't grow. They don't change. They stay comfortable and float through life. They think this is the way to go. If I stay in my bubble, I'll never face scary challenges. Growing and being challenged and facing obstacles and not knowing everything is scary, and it's uncomfortable. Who likes to be scared and uncomfortable? You in the back, put your hand down. Make you look. But guess what? NWM. I don't know what that means. No matter what, yeah, thank you. No matter what is, I think that's what it means. It's all about being uncomfortable. And that's why 1% of people are successful in network marketing. Not because the product or the market or your luck. It's because 1% are the only ones who are willing to get uncomfortable. What's a successful mindset look like? They're not afraid to fail. They learn from failure instead of avoiding it or running from it. You grow from learning. You put forth effort into learning, like personal development, coming to trainings, etc. They, focus on current situations and how to change them. There's a great meme, and I couldn't find it. If you guys have ever seen it before, and it's like a It Works meme, and it's got a girl going, oh, I'm broke, this stinks, blah, blah, blah. Another girl going like, I'm broke, I need money. It's that same thing. It's the broke mindset compared, does anyone know what I'm talking about? Okay, yeah. You've seen that. So it's like that broke mindset compared to that successful mindset. So what's something else? I can't wait to get into this. What's something else that we all do to hinder ourselves, and we may not even realize that we're doing it? What's that called? Not excuses. I think somebody said it. Self-sabotage. Yes. We do things like getting mad at our team because they didn't do the things that we wanted them to do it. They don't run fast enough. They didn't make the post that I asked them to post. Or they don't listen to me. They make you feel so mad, right? That's right, because I am talking to you, Reds. Red color personalities. You are running. You don't have time for feelings, right? And questions. The answers are there. There's no money to be earned from answering questions, right? Who doesn't want money, right? But that's just it. Not everyone wants what you want, all right? I know, it's weird, like who wouldn't want money? But the problem is you get so wrapped up in wanting to be in the spotlight, whether you want to admit that or not, that you can end up missing one important part of your puzzle and your journey, and that's empathy. So stop expecting your whole team to have the same wants and desires as you. Some people do need more help. Some people are sensitive. Some people, I know Barry's up here, aren't all about the money. So don't get upset over that. And you need to embrace it and appreciate what everyone brings to the table. You need the color spectrum on your team, trust me. So it's not all about you, it's about them. And guess what? When you truly put the focus on your team and you help and figure out what their goals are, that will help you in return, and your wallet, I know, the most important part there, more than anything else will. You will get that pat on the back. You will get the spotlight. But you've got to take yourself out of the equation. So you need to focus on your strengths. You are a great leader, a great inspirer, a great motivator by your actions. Show people what hitting the ground and running can do for your business. You know what to do to be successful. So take the time to help people to do that. Got it? What else are we guilty of? How about spending all of our time waiting? We wait to talk to anyone because heaven forbid they ask us a question that we don't know. That's right, I am talking to you, greens. You love details. You want to know every ingredient in every product, how it works, what it does, etc. You have to be prepared. Your fear of not having an answer can hold you back. You are afraid to post and talk to people and have a party until you're sure that you have all the answers. But guess what? We will always be learning. You'll never have all the answers. And the best way to learn is not always just by reading up on things, but it's by taking action and doing. So stop running from taking action and run into it. You'll learn about the products. What's the best way to learn about the products, y'all? Using them. Exactly. Experience in using them. Use the products, and you end up getting the best answers because you can relate it back to yourself. And what else? You get you use the products, what happens?
Testimony.
Personal results. You get your own personal testimony, and that right there, nothing can hold a candle to your own personal testimony. Something you will not find in the product details. Your personal journey is what will help you with your why. It's going to help you with your answers, and it's going to help you with your success in this business. So do not get stuck hindering yourself with all the waiting and waiting and waiting, because you are a great wealth of knowledge. We need our greens on our team for quick answers and great info because we know that they've got it. So don't forget that not everyone wants to know every ingredient in the wrap when you're listening to them. But you remember that who talks last wins. Speaking of talking, it can be boring, right? You know what's fun though? Reading through all the comments on Juicy Threads on Facebook and staying up with the gossip and liking and commenting on all the new enrollments and being plugged in. Only if it's fun to hear though, of course. See what everyone else is up to, you know, and then, oh crap, 3 hours have passed and all you've done is not much. I'm talking to you, Blues.
Whatever.
You are all about having a good time. You are truly here for the party. As long as you're having fun, it's all good. Because it is fun to sit on your phone and scroll all day, looking at funny memes and liking all the funny comments and all, but unfortunately, that doesn't do anything for your business or your team. Don't get so wrapped up in all the fun things, you forget about what an amazing opportunity you have in your hands. Now, there is a way to have fun in this business. Who's a successful Blue that we all know? Woo! Casey. She has found a way to have fun with success. You can learn a lot from her. So get back to the basics. Have wrap parties. You know, that's the way you're gonna get to have fun while putting cash in your pocket and growing your business at the same time. So you attract people to you naturally, but make sure you don't forget to lead them either. Don't write yourself off. You know, you need to give yourself a lot more credit because you bring a lot to the table. Take fun with this business that it has to offer. This business has a lot of fun to offer. This is fun, right? Please try. Come on, it is fun. You can make it fun. Do fun contests. You know, take advantage of what we have to offer. It's fun to take your team, you know, on an adventure. Do fun things with them. Do things like color blitzing. Have who can do the most wrap parties. Things like that. Think of things that are fun. You know, when you help lead your team that way, that means more success for everyone, which means you can do even more fun, like Casey's leadership retreat. She funded her way all the Presidential Diamond so that her goal was to have a big, fun get-together with her diamonds and above. So everyone wins. You just don't need to forget that because you're having a good time, all parties have to come to an end at some point, right? But the fun does not have to stop. And you know what else is fun? Seeing someone's face when they realize that the wraps do work, right? Nothing else they've tried has worked. But you help someone see there is hope after all. It's so fun when that person joins your team because you just know if there's anything more life-changing than the wraps and the products, it's the business opportunity. You just know that this person is going to love this business as much as you. So you pour everything you have into this person. You drop everything else, and then that person doesn't love it as much as you. And I am talking to you yellows. You, we, I'm a yellow. We are so guilty of wanting this more for people than they want it for themselves. It is so easy to get stuck in that spot. We just can't let people go. I think that was funny that Kimberly was up here talking about that just a second ago. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's just what we do. But that's the problem. You know, we get stuck in that spot. We absolutely cannot let people go. You know, they have the potential and they can do this, and we just know that they can do this. And we truly want nothing more than seeing people happy. Okay, maybe we want world peace too, but you know, I'm talking about business here, right? So when someone joins your team, you fall in love with them, with their hopes and their dreams and their whys. And we need to realize one thing though, and that is that as great as this opportunity is, it's not for everyone. And that's okay. I wasn't kidding when I said I had like 80 people like that who join and don't do anything. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not even exaggerating. If I added up, it's probably about 8 people who have invested and died off. You know, we need to learn from that. We need to learn to let it go and let God. If He wants to resuscitate them, all right, then that is up to Him. That is God's job to resuscitate these dead legs. I personally wasted an entire year not letting go. And I still struggle with it. I will always be yellow. I will always struggle with that. But I've gotten better. And I put my focus on what I do have control over, and that is creating new life. All right? Not slowing down. People will continue to watch you, but you can't squat with your squatters, yellow. Get up off the floor. Stop squatting with them. They're gonna sit there and squat. They don't need company. They're fine. All right? From a blanket, they're good. Okay? Think of all the people that you could be helping when you do refocus on the simple plan and steps to success. And that will help so many more. Your ultimate goal, helping people. You know, not letting people go, you know, worrying about the 1 person or the 2 or the 10 people who joined you and squatted. It is not your job to want this for people. It's your job to continue to offer and share these products with everyone else and lead by example. People flock to you because they know you're genuine. They know when they come to you, they can trust you, and that's why they join the business with you. All of you. I want every single one of you, the reds, yellows, greens, blues. I want all of you to recognize the self-sabotage that we are all guilty of. Take a moment to let what I've talked about sink in. Reflect it, acknowledge it, be honest with yourself. So speaking of that, some people of you in here know I do some work with anti-bullying. One thing I do with people to encourage them is to look in the mirror. and really take a look. Not just, stop and glance and fix your makeup, guys, I don't know what you do, fix your hair, not like that. But really look in your mirror and look in your eyes. You know how hard that is? That's not easy to do. But as soon as you can really accept your weaknesses and your strengths and love all of it, I say take a moment to acknowledge your weaknesses, because in order to grow, you need to acknowledge it. But in order to grow, you need to stop putting effort into trying to make those weaknesses your strengths. So I don't remember if it was my first conference or the second one, but we had an amazing speaker there. And he said something that I'm never going to forget. And I wrote it down in my notes, and he said, "You'll never be great at your weakness." I was like, man, that is really true. Why do we spend so much time trying to be great at it? Whether it's math or it's art or music, etc., we all have God-given strengths, right? But it's where our focus needs to be. If you just aren't good at math, just accept that. That's okay. Focus on what you are awesome at and put your energy there. My son, he's amazing at math. He literally brought me, he's 7 years old, and he brought me a piece of paper yesterday. Before he got in the bath, I had to make up multiplication problems for him and have them solve them. I'm like, who are you? Okay. My husband looking at each other, at least somebody's smart in the family, But that's his strength. And I'm like, that's fantastic. And I got my 4-year-old Brielle, for y'all don't know her. We've got her, me and my husband. I feel like my husband, I was thinking last night about this, literally. I'm laying in bed going, it's like the Wizard of Oz the Wizard of Oz in my house. You've got courage, brains, and heart. I'm the heart. My husband's the courage. I've got my son, who's obviously the brains, and I've got my daughter, who's basically a mix of Glinda the Good Witch, the Wizard of Oz, and the Flying Monkey. Brings lots to the table there. But but that's the thing. It's like I look at him and I'm like, man, so glad he's so good at math. That's his strength, and I'm proud of him for that. And it's amazing to see that. I'm okay at math. I'm not great at it. I will never be good at it, and I accept that. So I just don't put all my energy into that. Okay. So I'm going to give you an example again of myself. Actually, you might want to leave the room. She's going to be so mad at me for saying this. I'm not good at Instagram. I said it. Okay, there, it's out. I accept that, and it's okay. So rather than spend hours, I know it's great for some people. I'm not dissing it. Don't take it that way. I'm talking about me right now, all right? I would rather spend hours, if I'm going to spend hours watching videos and listening to calls and trying to be great at it, I choose to put my efforts on what I am great at. I have listened to videos and calls and trainings and everything. I just can't get it. I can't get it. I can't get it. I can't get it. So there we go. I am great at other income-producing activities. So that's where my focus is going to lie. You find what works for you. If you just absolutely suck at blitzing, then stick to what you're good at. If you're like me, you absolutely suck at social media, stick to what you're good at. Work on it. Don't not give it a try. I've tried. I promise you. All right. I was on Periscope a couple days ago. It was Mark and John Eric did a Periscope together before the Bradenton won the mission. And I'm sitting there listening to it, and Mark said something. I immediately got out this paper and jotted it down. And John Eric asked him about being a Beyond a Billion company. And we need to really think about a billion. He compared, a million seconds, I think it's 12 days, and a billion seconds is 32 years. So to take that jump from $1 million company to beyond $1 billion, what a huge difference that is. And Mark sat there and said, I'm not exceptionally smart. I didn't know a secret that no one else knew. I just grabbed my lunchbox and went to work. It's hard to beat someone who never gives up. Think about that. It's hard to beat someone who never gives up. This company is around, 14 years now? He's never given up. It's taken 14 years to become a beyond $1 billion brand. And John Eric said, success is disguised in work clothes. And then he made a post about it after that. About jeans, overalls, work boots, whatnot. So what does work look like in this business? There is a lot of great things that work can look like. But what's the main thing to do? What's the key to our business? Steps to success. So how do we fill those steps up? There are so many different avenues that we can take. Again, what works for you? But what does corporate tell us to do? Yes, blitz, rapid feet. We even have a shirt that says it, right? Simple, simple, simple. So now that I have all of your attention, I'm not doing a video. You can't just mute me, pause me, skip. We say to copy the right cats, right? Mm-hmm. I don't want anybody getting caught up in anybody else's journeys. You embrace your own journey, whatever that may be. I've been saying since I got started, if it takes me 5 years to go ambassador, who cares? I'm ambassador millionaire. Guess what? I'm almost in my 4th year. It looks like it is going to take me 5 years to get to ambassador. That's okay. Who cares? I'll be ambassador, right? I embrace that. It could happen next month. I don't care. It'll happen because I'm not going to give up and quit. But copy the right cast. Who's the #1 income earner right now in the company? Stephanie Angel Dunn, who happens to be our ambassador diamond. I've seen her talk many times too. And I said, she's the one who says, follow the leader, copy the right cast. Guess who she glued to when she got started and followed and followed and followed? Queen Pam Souter is who she followed around and traveled with and glued herself to her. What does Pam say for us to do? You got Brianna. Let's rap repeat. Absolutely. Let's rap repeat. Follow the leaders. Alicia couldn't be here tonight, but she was also at that retreat with Stephanie and Jill Dunn. And they went over to Pam's house and they had John Eric there. And what was their advice? Let's rap repeat. You heard Amaryllis talk about it up here too. Let's rap repeat. You know, people are starting to really get burned out, unfortunately, with social media. So I've had some great success from it. I have some great distributors I never would have met had it not been for that. But how many times a day do you see hateful MLM posts? Not just about it works, just in general. If I have one more person stop telling me to buy this and sell that, we see it in our newsfeed, right? Because I want you guys to think about something. Why is that? People don't want to be sold on things. So all day in their newsfeed, they're getting sold on things. And it's not just it works. You got to think about all the other MLMs that are out there. So if you've got 1,500 people on your friends list, how many of them are in an MLM and posting, buy this, buy that, my products work, join my team, blah, 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 all day long. Again, not just it works, all the companies, because there's a lot out there. So I want to give you a scenario. When you're in person talking with somebody, and you don't really know them, maybe you are a parent, and you've been at Chuck E. Cheese, and you sat at the table next to each other, and you kind of started a conversation. Would you talk to them the way that you send a message to somebody on Facebook? Hey, you know, I really like your personality, you're kind of cool, I think you should join my team. Would you say that to them?
Yeah.
Probably not, because they probably run away looking at their shoulder at you, right? And grab their kid and run out of there. So why do we not be personal when it comes to that? It's just gotten to that point where it's just so easy. Same reason that people are hateful on social media. If they were in front of somebody, I doubt they'd say some of the colorful things they say on my screen. That's right. So we need to take that into consideration when you're talking to somebody. I have a lot of my team come to me and ask me to help them with their conversations. And I get a lot of positive feedback. Oh, I really like the way you said that, because I feel like I'm having a conversation with a person, not a potential. I'm having a person, and I'm having a personal conversation. That's why I do it that way. So there's a leader on our team who I was talking with a couple days ago, and she is burned out. She's burned out. She's got tech neck. She's burned out. She's just like, God, you got to motivate me to get me out there. I'm guilty of it myself. I am burned out. I need to get back to the basics. So tomorrow, that's what I'm going to do. You need to pump me up. So I'm like, all right, what did you do today? You know, the next day, what did you do? What did you do? Well, I went to the gym and I worked out. And after the class, I talked to somebody and I booked a party. Boom. How long did that take? 3 minutes-ish, right? It took like 3 minutes to book a party. I had an event 2 weeks ago in Jacksonville. I gave somebody a free sample of WOW. She called me the next day and signed up as a distributor because she canceled her Botox appointment. How long did that take? Less than 24 hours, right? And again, you need to have balance here. Do not take what I'm saying, and I'm not saying anything negative, but I just want you to realize something. Social media. You need to take 12 hours out of your day to follow and unfollow and make sure they're not following at work and blah, 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 and search, okay? And then you need about 2 weeks for them to watch you and start liking your posts and build that relationship. And then you have to actually finally say something, and then after 2 more weeks, and then 2 weeks after that, they finally enroll, sometimes 4 months, whatever. Right? How long does that take to get that enrollment? They're both amazing tools to use, but you know what the key is to this? Using both. Getting out there, blitzing, events, handing out samples, and using social media. What do we get stuck doing? Hide behind the phone all day long. All day long. We forget what this business is built up on. All right? They are both tools to use. But you see what happens when you only use one of them? I cannot tell you how many times I've seen in different team pages, distributors, it's been 2 weeks, it's been 2 months, it's been this, that, and the other. I haven't enrolled anybody. Well, what have you been doing? I post every day. I've got my hundreds list and I sent every single person a message. Did you have a lunch party? No. Have you got a rap on anybody? No. You blitz? No. What are you? You're a rapologist, a rap girl, a rap guy. We get the rap on people, right? We can't forget about the key to our business there, which is blitz, rap, repeat. So Alicia, in case you didn't know, is running a contest right now, and that's why. She wants us to videotape live blitzing. It's great for us to learn. Dadgum, man. It's great for us to learn from one another, to see live blitzing. We get up here and we can do back and forth scenarios. But to see it in person live is great. You guys are all pretty much all local around here. Look at all these people that you have to partner up with and go out and blitz. So I'm not saying use the tools that you are great at. So you got amazing tips up here from Instagram. Everybody learns from that. Use it, but put the phone down. You know what? When I sold a wrap at a gas station on my last trip, I got cash in my pocket, not from doing this. I've signed up distributors doing this, and I've sold wraps doing that. Both. Use both, use both, use both. But don't forget to get back to the basics. You know, me and Casey were talking about it earlier too. On the way down here, we were on the phone for almost an hour. And we were talking about that and said about the fact that we've been in the business almost 4 years now. And we've seen a huge switch. And there are some incredible, amazing younger generation ambassador diamonds who have strictly built on social media. And that's amazing and great. But that's not everybody's journey. So don't think because you didn't go presidential in 4 months or 4 days or 24 hours because you didn't have 50,000 Instagram followers, you're not going to be successful. You are, but you have to find what works for you. But I can guarantee you getting the wrap on somebody works for everybody. That wow is a game changer. Order some, carry it around with you, hand out free samples. Every single person that I have wowed has asked me, how much is this? How do I get this? People want immediate results. You get that from the wrap and the wow. So you can't wrap and wow somebody over the phone, but you can make a connection. Like Brianna talked about, look for local people. Stop talking about New Zealand and all that. That's great. They can find you. Look for local people. That's what Casey did. She was added herself to mom groups, made connections via Facebook. Then she got them to come over to her house. That's the key. Use the tools you have properly. Make the connections. Get the wrap and the wow on them, and that's where you're going to make that connection and get them to enroll. Right? So record your blitz cards. Get out there. Get back to basics, because if you've been at a corporate event, you know how this goes. We live. We rap. And that was the weakest one I've ever heard. We Thank you. You guys are awesome. We're gonna end this on a big hit work boom. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Thank you guys.
Are we ready to do the group picture?
Kind of. But you have to get in the middle.
Okay.
You want to do another one? Yeah.
Thank you guys for coming tonight. If you could take the picture with us, that would be awesome.
Yes, we have to be in the picture. I heard somebody say that.
Sorry, it was so hot.
Really long, freaking long arms. Selfie stick.
Hey.
Wow, look at all this food, guys. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's falling apart.
The part of the picture.
Didn't work. All right.
Thank you guys, have a great night.
Oh, I know.
Okay, yes, if anyone wouldn't mind grabbing a bag, I love that we brought it in to bring it out. But if everyone wouldn't mind grabbing a bag, I'm gonna load up my truck. Actually, I'll pull it around first.
Amen.
I guess.